My name is Chris Gardner. I am the CEO and co-founder of Artemis Consultants. We are a national executive search firm, and we specialize in working with established to emerging companies, helping them with their executive level staffing in areas of mid-level clear to the C-suite. I think companies that are B2B services tend to grow through relationships. And I think that, growing a company via creating new relationships is very difficult. I think B2B services and growing businesses and finding new clients relies on relationships. We're a boutique executive search firm, and we've grown through relationships that I've developed. And one way that I've been able to do this is first, I'm fortunate to be in an industry that allows me to pivot and be a resource for somebody in one of two ways. We can help them recruit and find talent, or we can help somebody make some dramatic improvements to their professional lives and put them in a spot that they're passionate about. And or we can put them in a new job that elevates their career and puts them in a better position personally and professionally. So the way I go about developing relationships is I go in and try to talk with executives within the communities of companies that we support. I like to try to develop relationships with anybody that's in their C-suite or SVP suite. And so one of the ways I'm successful in doing that is I will typically start with a campaign of emails or in-mails or calls. And I just am trying to get this person on the phone and or a Zoom call, and essentially letting them know, hey, look, your background matches some of the jobs that we conducted for executive level searches for. And while I'm not aware of anything specific to talk to you about, I think that you would find some of the roles that we recruit for interesting. And I just wanted to see if it makes sense for you to be a part of our community. So I just want to get to know that individual. Where too many recruiters and people in my industry make mistakes, I think, is they're just trying to sell, hey, I can help you find people. I can help you find people. And that's just, people smell that from a mile away. They don't want to be sold. I view it completely different. I'm always playing the long game. People do respond to that. A lot of people like the fact that they can have a relationship with an individual or company that can keep an eye out for them, because the people that we're working with and representing, 95% of them aren't quote unquote looking, but they are willing to be found. And so they like and value having a relationship with a firm that can at least keep them in mind as we are opening up new searches. And so that's also turns out to be a value prop that we can offer to our clients and saying, hey, 95% of the people that are in our community, they're not looking. So you might post a job out there, but you're not even getting these people's views. So if you want access to this elite community of individuals that aren't looking, that's where we can step in. I like to approach it from a very personal standpoint where I just want to get to know you. I just want to see and learn about your background and learn what you might be aspiring to next, and seeing if I can make some matches with our clients. I have learned to be very thoughtful about the kind of questions to differentiate myself from any other recruiter that they've talked to. Because most times I'll get a response and they'll say, I've never had somebody ask me that question before, or they always say, I haven't thought about that before. And let's think about this. Because if you make yourself memorable, and if you can showcase having a subject matter expertise, that's where you build trust. I think part of the reason I have been successful using this methodology, not only for finding new client or new candidates, but also for finding clients, because ideally, I need both. If you happen to stumble across somebody at this inflection point where they might need you, um, sometimes it might feel forced, or gosh, you're the only person I've talked to, you're the only vendor I've researched. I don't know, maybe I should want to research other people. Versus, you know what? I remember having a really good foundational conversation with somebody that I've already trust. I'm going to go to this guy. And I think one of the biggest challenges that most small B2B services companies have or experience, and this was a challenge of ours for a very long time, is, what can you do to create value for somebody else for free? And I mean, not just topical value, but real value. For us, we actually have a community of clients and job openings that many people aren't even aware of, because sometimes the clients have a confidential search. We're working on one right now. They can't post it out there, and it's a great head of sales opportunity, and $700,000 a year job. And had they not been a part of our community, they might not hear about something like that. But I think most small B2B services companies struggle with how to find ways to create value for somebody else without needing or wanting anything in return. Because you know that when you get somebody on the telephone, if they even sniff that you are trying to bait and switch them into something else, you've lost the trust. It's like when I have these conversations, I've seen other recruiters use my methodology, and it's just from the standpoint, okay, I've learned, we've talked about you enough. Now, do you need any recruiting help? Do you need any jobs? It's, man, you just sabotaged everything you did with one sentence, and you had no clue you've done it.